Hi everyone, and welcome back to Mindful Mentors 12, your go-to channel for insightful learning and personal growth. Now, if you're anything like me, you're probably always looking for ways to learn more effectively, to really make the most of your study time. Whether you're a student, a professional, or just someone who loves to learn, finding the right learning strategies can make all the difference. Today we'll explore top strategies for unlocking your learning potential. We're going to dive deep into 3 powerful techniques that I use all the time: active learning, spaced repetition, and mind mapping. By the end of this video, you'll learn actionable tips to enhance your learning journey, helping you absorb information faster, remember it for longer, and ultimately, become a more effective learner. So, if you're ready to supercharge your learning and unlock your full potential, grab your notebooks, get comfy, and let's get started. First up, let's talk about active learning. This is a method that transforms the way you interact with your study material. Now, you might be thinking, isn't all learning active? After all, if you're reading or listening, aren't you already engaging? Well, not quite. You see, passively reading a textbook or watching a lecture without really engaging with the material is like trying to fill a bucket with a hole in the bottom. The information just doesn't stick. You might get some information in, but most of it just leaks out. It's a frustrating and inefficient way to learn. Active learning, on the other hand, is about actively engaging with the material, making connections, and really trying to understand the concepts at a deeper level. It's a more dynamic and effective approach. It's about asking questions, summarizing information in your own words, and testing yourself along the way. This process helps to reinforce what you've learned. Think of it like building a house. You wouldn't just throw bricks together and hope for the best, right? Each brick needs to be placed with care and precision. You'd lay a strong foundation, carefully place each brick, and reinforce the structure as you go. This ensures that the house is sturdy and reliable. That's what active learning is all about, building a solid foundation of knowledge by actively engaging with the material. It's a method that ensures your learning is robust and long-lasting. One of the best ways to do this is through something called active recall. This technique is incredibly powerful for memory retention. This is where you try to recall information from memory without looking at your notes or the textbook. It challenges your brain to retrieve information, which strengthens your memory. You can do this by using flashcards, summarizing information in your own words, or even just trying to explain a concept to someone else. These methods force you to actively engage with the material. The act of retrieving information from memory actually strengthens the neural pathways in your brain, making it more likely that you'll remember it in the long run. It's like giving your brain a workout. It's like taking your brain to the gym. Just as physical exercise strengthens your muscles, mental exercises strengthen your brain. Another powerful active learning technique is spaced repetition. This method helps to combat the natural forgetting curve. We'll dive deeper into this in the next chapter, but essentially, it involves spacing out your review sessions over time, which helps to combat the forgetting curve and solidify information in your long-term memory. It's a strategic way to ensure that what you learn sticks with you. And don't underestimate the power of teaching what you've learned to someone else. Teaching is a fantastic way to reinforce your own understanding. Explaining a concept to another person forces you to organize your thoughts, identify any gaps in your understanding, and solidify your knowledge. It's a win-win situation. Plus, it's a great way to help others learn at the same time. Sharing knowledge benefits everyone involved. Remember, active learning is all about being an active participant in your own learning journey. It's about taking control and making the most of your study time. So, ditch the passive highlighting and get ready to engage with the material in a meaningful way. Your future self will thank you for it. Now let's move on to our next learning superpower: spaced repetition. Now we've all been there, right? You spend hours cramming for an exam, feeling confident that you've finally mastered the material. But then, a few weeks later, it's like the information just vanished into thin air. This, my friends, is the dreaded forgetting curve in action. The forgetting curve is a graph that shows how we tend to forget information over time, especially if we don't actively try to retain it. But don't worry, there's a way to outsmart this memory saboteur, and it's called spaced repetition. So, how does spaced repetition work? Well, it's based on the idea that we're more likely to remember information if we review it at increasing intervals. Instead of cramming all your review into one massive session, you space out your review sessions over days, weeks, or even months. Think of it like watering a plant. If you water it too often, you'll drown it. But if you wait too long between waterings, it'll wither and die. The key is to find that sweet spot, that optimal watering schedule that keeps your plant healthy and thriving. That's what spaced repetition does for your memory. It helps you find that optimal review schedule to keep information fresh in your mind. Now you might be wondering how to actually implement spaced repetition in your own learning. Luckily, there are some fantastic tools and apps out there that can help, like Anki or Quizlet. These apps use algorithms to schedule your review sessions based on your performance, making sure that you're reviewing information just before you're likely to forget it. But even without fancy apps, you can still incorporate the principles of spaced repetition into your study routine. For example, let's say you're learning a new language. Instead of trying to memorize a whole list of vocabulary words in one go, try reviewing them the next day, then again a few days later, and then again the following week. This spaced-out approach will help to cement those words in your long-term memory, making it much more likely that you'll remember them when you need them. So, ditch the cramming, embrace the power of spaced repetition, and watch your memory retention soar. Remember, the key to effective learning isn't just about the amount of time you spend studying, but how you distribute that time. By spacing out your study sessions, you give your brain the chance to consolidate information, making it easier to recall later. So next time you sit down to study, think about how you can incorporate spaced repetition into your routine. Your future self will thank you for it. Finally, let's talk about a technique that's near and dear to my heart: mind mapping. Now, if you're a visual learner like me, you're going to love this one. Mind mapping is a powerful visual tool that helps you organize information, make connections, and see the bigger picture. Imagine your brain is like a giant filing cabinet. When you learn new information, it's like stuffing a bunch of random papers into the cabinet without any organization. It's messy, it's overwhelming, and good luck finding anything when you need it. Mind mapping is like taking all those papers, organizing them into folders, and labeling everything clearly. It helps you create a visual representation of the information, making it easier to understand, remember, and recall. So, how do you create a mind map? Well, it's actually quite simple. You start with a central idea or topic which you write down in the center of a blank page. Then you branch out from the central idea, adding subtopics, keywords, and images that relate to the main theme. Think of it like creating a tree. The central idea is the trunk, and the branches represent the different subtopics. You can then add smaller branches for supporting details, examples, or anything else that helps you understand and remember the information. The beauty of mind mapping is that it allows you to see the connections between different pieces of information. It's not just about memorizing isolated facts, it's about understanding the relationships between them and seeing how they all fit together. And the best part, mind maps are incredibly versatile. You can use them for brainstorming, note-taking, problem-solving, project planning, and so much more. In fact, I use mind maps for pretty much everything. They're like my secret weapon for organizing my thoughts, generating ideas, and making sense of complex information. Whether I'm planning a project, studying for an exam, or just trying to get my thoughts in order, mind maps are my go-to tool. So if you're looking for a way to boost your learning, improve your memory, and unleash your creativity, give mind mapping a try. Trust me, your brain will thank you for it. It's a simple yet effective technique that can transform the way you process and retain information. So grab a pen, find a quiet spot, and start mind mapping today. You'll be amazed at how much more organized and clear your thoughts become. Happy mind mapping. I want to hear from you. Comment below with your favorite learning strategy and share your thoughts or experiences. I'll be reading and replying to your comments. To wrap up, today we've covered active learning, spaced repetition, and mind mapping. Remember, the key to effective learning is consistency and engagement. Don't be afraid to experiment with different techniques and find what works best for you. If you found this video helpful, please give it a thumbs up and share it with others who might benefit. Don't forget to subscribe to Mindful Mentors 12 and hit the bell icon so you never miss an update. Stay tuned for our next video where we'll be discussing time management techniques for students. It's one you won't want to miss. Thanks for watching, and until next time, keep learning and stay mindful.